Center for Innovation and Collaboration in Discovery Park District. This building, if you've not been in it, it's dedicated to interactions between researchers, between businesses and students. And I hope as you were coming in, you noted the historic dairy barn that's under construction a few blocks away. That's soon to be home to a Cunningham Group restaurant, and it's going to be right here in Discovery Park. It's joining another new restaurant that you may know called the Kin Thai Eatery that's under construction just across the street on Foundry Drive. I'm Greg Deason. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Purdue Research Foundation, whose mission is to improve the world through Purdue technologies and Purdue graduates. We're pleased to have you at this community information session tonight to learn about SK Hynix and their plans here in West Lafayette. I've lived here for 40 years. We raised 3 sons here. This is my home. I joined the Purdue Research Foundation back in 1995, excited to fulfill the mission of Purdue Research Foundation and specifically to bring new jobs and new opportunities here through company attraction, through startup creation at the Purdue Research Park. Tonight, I want to focus on some of the impacts of the Purdue Research Park and Discovery Park District, which includes thousands of high-tech, high-impact jobs in West Lafayette, and the quality of life and the quality of community resulting from that growth. PRF's Research Park and Discovery Park District have truly transformed West Lafayette. Origin stories matter to me, and when I consider my own PRF origin story going back some 30 years, I recall that much of the land north of Cumberland Avenue was part of the Purdue University research farms. We relocated those operations west so we could expand the research park and create opportunities for many of you who now live at University Farm, at Amberley Village, at the Century, and beyond. We even used the name University Farm as we brought hundreds of new homes into West Lafayette. PRF's been a good partner to you and to our city. We even converted 50 acres of the research park into Amberley Village. This was because the city and the West Lafayette schools desired more homes within the school system. This allowed many of you to move here and to be part of the West Lafayette school system while pursuing careers at Purdue University and in the Purdue Research Park. What you may not know is that the Purdue Research Foundation even donated the lands that became the fire station on Calbear Road, the Trailhead Park on Calbear Road, the Wellness Center, Cumberland Park. We even had a day of service for PRF staff to build the raised bed gardens in Cumberland Park that some of you enjoy. We've also brought amenities like Just Us Kids Childcare, Walt's Pub, Park West Fitness, along with Steve Shook. We have walking trails that we've coordinated with the city. We've created water features, and all of these have made West Lafayette great. These origin stories matter because PRF has proven a mindset of creating vibrancy through thousands of high-tech, high-impact jobs, through new neighborhoods, and through an amazing set of new amenities. Our vision of a live, work, play environment here and community of choice has been realized. At every step, PRF has brought safe and responsible development and safe and responsible development partners because this is where we live, work, and play. I've been to South Korea. I've seen for myself the thousands of workers and facilities and amenities that are all co-located safely and responsibly. SK Hynix has workforce housing that is right there adjacent to their production and research facilities. On site they have childcare, on site they have restaurants, they have their on-site wellness center. All of these things are being done very safely and responsibly. This makes them an ideal employer in South Korea, and it will make them an employer of choice and a great corporate citizen here in West Lafayette. I'm anxious for y'all to meet them and to hear the facts, but want to underscore this is also my home, and I'm extremely positive and excited to have SK Hynix join the hundreds of companies that call the Purdue Research Park home, and to call West Lafayette their home as well. To introduce SK Hynix tonight is Dr. Mark Lundstrom. Dr. Lundstrom has advanced Purdue's capabilities in microelectronics and semiconductors for decades. Dr. Lundstrom's the Don and Carol Seifried's Distinguished Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Purdue. He also serves as a senior advisor to the President and is Purdue's Chief Semiconductor Officer. Please join me in welcoming Mark Lundstrom.
Thank you, Greg. And thank you all for being here tonight. And Greg, I guess I've lived here for 48 years, so I have 4 years on Greg. It's a wonderful community. So thank you all for coming. I hope you don't have Bob Dylan tickets the way that I did. I've been working on semiconductor technology since my first job out of college. It was semiconductor manufacturing, and my entire career at Purdue in research and teaching on semiconductor technology. I'm really excited about this company coming to West Lafayette. It is one of the most successful and the most important companies in the world right now. And we're all looking forward to the opportunities that it's going to create. Our faculty have been meeting weekly with your researchers at SK Hynix to identify the research connections. We're writing proposals and submitting proposals together already. We look forward to co-op and internship opportunities with our students, full-time jobs when they graduate, and jobs for Hoosiers, whether they have a high school degree or a PhD or anything in between. So it's just tremendously exciting what's happening here right now. So, you know, we've had semiconductor facilities in the US for decades. My first job was in a semiconductor fab in a small town in Colorado more than 50 years ago. But we haven't had a lot of this industry in the Midwest. It's new, but as Bob would say, the times they are changing. This industry is new here and people have concerns and questions. So I want to thank our colleagues from SK Hynix for being with us here this evening to share some information about the company, to discuss their plans for West Lafayette, and to take questions from you all. So with that, I will turn things over to N.K. Kim, Senior Vice President and Head of the Neuron Project Management Office at SK Hynix West Lafayette. And N.K., I'll ask you to introduce your team.
Good evening, everyone. My name is N.K. Kim. As introduced, I'm the Senior Vice President and the Neuron Project Management Office at SK Hynix West Lafayette. It's a great pleasure to introduce myself and the company I work for to all of you for the very first time. In recent months, it has come to our attention that perhaps we should have been more active, engaging with the local community. In our absence, many unanswered questions have circulated the community, which has contributed to confusion and distress among some of you. Tonight is an opportunity for us to provide accurate information and alleviate some of your concern. After tonight's open dialogue, we are confident that we'll come out better informed and more reassured. As stated first in a series of our communication, we have experts flown in from Korea to lead the discussion. They will touch on subjects such as who SK Hynix is, the facility construction project, safety, health, and environmental concerns, and SK Hynix plan for community engagement. We kindly ask you withhold your question until the end of our 30-minute presentation with the following. There will be a 30-minute Q&A session. So then, without further ado, I give the floor from headquarters, Mr. Seo-jin Yang, who will introduce our company and then as I mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your warm introduction. I am SJ, and I'm with SK Hynix. I just flew over here this morning. Microphone's on. And I'm flying out tomorrow. So, but still, this is a wonderful moment with you. And we should have done this much earlier. That is my how great I am. Okay. So my own convenience, making a presentation while speaking. Okay. All right. So again, thank you, and we are very honored to have a chance to share information about who we are and what we do and what our ambitious plans are in and bringing to the table, bringing to India, bringing to the West Lafayette community, what kind of benefits, what kind of best practices we used to have in Korea and elsewhere, and chance to have some of your voices of concern heard and respond proactively. So without further ado, let me go into the presentation. So company overview. So I am with SK Hynix, but SK Hynix is a subset of SK Group, which is a lot bigger. SK Group is Korea's second largest company, with around 200 operating companies and maybe about now 100,000 employees worldwide. It was founded during the Korean War in 1953. SK began as a textile company and now have grown into a multinational company with a diverse portfolio. Renewable energy, telecommunication, biopharmaceuticals, and AI semiconductors. SK is ranked at Fortune 100, and compared U.S. companies such as Meta, Walgreens, and Verizon. SK is not a household name like Hyundai or LG because we are primarily engaged in B2B business. But still, SK has a strong and growing presence throughout the United States, especially in green energy sectors such as EV battery in Georgia, Tennessee, and Kentucky, and we have a lot more. Today, SK operates in 21 U.S. states with over $34 billion of assets and over 7,000 employees across the country. If we take root here, SK Hynix, we will be the first SK company to establish a presence in Indiana, right here in West Lafayette. Going straight into SK Hynix. SK Hynix is one of the world's largest semiconductor company. We are ranked at fourth, only after Samsung, Intel, and NVIDIA. But we scope it down to memory chip market. There are only 3 players around: Samsung, us, and Micron. And we are, unlike other companies, we are a memory specialist. We design, manufacture, and sell our own memory chips. Memory business historically have been cyclical. So with boom and bust patterns, repeating every few years, that requires enormous amount of investment to remain competitive. But this landscape is changing rapidly these days because of the AI. Memory chips are no longer treated as a simple commodity. Instead, they're becoming highly customized products designed for high-speed data transmission to enable advanced AI applications such as ChatGPT. GPUs or graphics processing unit are at the core of these applications because they perform a parallel processing, which is ideal for high-performance computing. But GPUs cannot alone do this job. They need memory that can keep up. This is where high bandwidth memory, or HBM, comes in. HBM is able to address the bottleneck between the GPU and the memory that we have now. It is the most advanced, most essential memory chip ever invented. And we were the inventor of the HBM back in 13 years ago. SK Hynix is proud to be a global leader in both production and development of HBM, and we are the most trusted HBM supplier to companies in Silicon Valley. HBM depends on the technology called advanced packaging that includes 3D stacking and through silicon via TSV processing that vertically connects multiple layers of DRAM chips. That is why we are so glad to announce that the West Lafayette in the state of Indiana will be home to our first advanced packaging and R&D facility site outside of Korea for the first time. And the first of its kind in the United States. There is no one other than us constructing advanced packaging site. So going over to, now I've just spent some couple minutes providing you information that we are a technological leader in the market and we're doing really well. But some of the people have been concerned that there can be some of the sustainability issue compromised, and we're not, because we have a very good track record of working with community members, institutions locally, in the areas of sustainable development. My company was the first company in Korea to join the global RE100. It is a corporate initiative committed to using 100% of electricity out of renewable energy. We are actively working toward this goal by reducing greenhouse gas emissions and leading broader environmental efforts, such as conserving local water ecosystem and promoting resource recycling. Our headquarters is located in a city called Icheon. It's about populated with 200,000 people, only about 25 miles away from Seoul metropolitan area, the capital of Seoul, capital of Korea. It is also home to our largest production fab. For over 40 years, we've been operating in this region, and this region is very difficult to run operation because Icheon area is geographically located at the center of a water source for the more than 500 households in Seoul metropolitan area. So it is heavily regulated by the government. Our teams conduct rigorous inspection to ensure that the water discharged from our fabs is clean and fully compliant with relevant regulations. And also, city of Icheon has become, probably thanks to our contribution, a habitat for many endangered species, such as otters, hawks, or mandarin ducks. And we are also being an enabler of circular economy. We recycle more than 99% of our production waste, and we are proudly certified as a zero waste to landfill company, consistently surfacing our annual targets. Our company is deeply committed to contributing to the local economy as well. Not only by creating quality jobs and paying a substantial amount of taxes, but also by offering a range of programs that can really support the community well-being. For example, we have, back in Korea, developed public ecological parks. It's called Happiness Park. It means not our own happiness, not for the sake of our happiness. Happiness for the community, neighborhood, for our employees altogether. It's an inclusive term. And we support Senior Wellness Center, offer scholarships for STEM students, even sponsor a local orchestra called High, it stands for Hynix. These efforts reflect our belief that the company prospers when it grows together with this community. So these are the exemplary photos of local ecological park and the stream that is flowing alongside the park. And in this area resides the endangered species that we are rarely able to witness in Central Seoul and Central Korea. As a matter of fact, in Korea, there is one other place that you can witness endangered species, which is DMZ. But it's off-limits people. Lastly, we have been doing this, and we have gained a good amount of recognition. Our company has been a leader in sustainability movements, earning a place alongside some of the most respected companies in the United States. Looking ahead, we are excited to bring the same values and commitments to the communities like West Lafayette and beyond. Our goal is not only to be a technological innovator, but also to be a kind of a company neighbors that take pride in having just down the street. Finally, I would like to share the story. Our facility in Icheon is surrounded by rice paddies that survived over 500 years. That rice paddy has been a very famous site for producing table rice for kings in dynasty years. And we keep that tradition. It lives on with us. I suppose nearly everyone in Korea has somehow enjoyed Icheon branded name rice. And Icheon rice is being exported even to the United States, to Chicago. And I brought this. This is a package of rice from Icheon. I'm going to, take it with me, but this is kind of a symbolic product that we are proud to feature, showcase with everyone in this community that it's being exported because to the United States because it's being proved safe and sound and healthy. So I'll stop here and I'll hand over the mic to NK. Thank you.
Again, me. I'm going to introduce our Europe project overview, investing in the West Lafayette. SK Hynix will produce a cutting-edge semiconductor called HBM and open an R&D center for advanced packaging here in West Lafayette. According to our schedule, we'll begin mass production of HBM by the second half of 2028. By operating the cutting-edge semiconductor fab, SK Hynix aims to bring 4 values, or 4 E's, to the state of Indiana and to the city of West Lafayette. First, we'll create new jobs from direct hires, construction workers, and business partners. And we'll establish semiconductor ecosystem through the participation of more than 100 business partners. We'll also bring more than 53 billion worth of economic benefit to the local community. Lastly, through the close R&D collaboration with Purdue University and world-renowned institutions such as NSTC and IMEC, will help transform the state of Indiana into semiconductor heartland of the country. You may already know this from reading the news, but both Site A and Site B were originally intended to be utilized together to form a single semiconductor ecosystem. For our business purpose, Site B is an optimal choice to locate our fab most effectively. However, we'll listen to the voice of the community, and if necessary, we may move to Site A if the community so wish. This is a bird's eye view. Some details may change, but it looks similar at the end. As you can see, our operation take place within the building itself. Unlike most factory, a semiconductor fab looks similar to an office building. It is sited more than 1,000 feet away from the nearby residential area. There are the trees between the fab and the houses, so residents will not even be able to see the fab itself. We are considering as well option to build a trail through the tree and allow public access. This is a human eye level. Left follow is from Calvary Road. Right follow from the intersection between Salisbury Street and Calvary Road. SK Hynix has a building design philosophy of promoting harmony with the surrounding environment. The fab will integrate naturally like an office building to the overall city landscape of West Lafayette. Thank you. Our turnover, our special safety expert. Thank you.
안녕하세요. 저는 SK 하이닉스 환경팀장 박노혁입니다.
Good evening. I am Noyeok Park, SK Hynix Environment Team Lead.
먼저 여러 주민들께서 당사의 환경보건 역량 관련해서 몇 가지 궁금한 사항을 문의 주셨습니다. 질문의 유형을 분류하여 4가지 꼭지로 정리하여 설명드리고자 합니다. 먼저 건설 단계의 안전관리 방안을 설명드리고 이어서 운영 단계에서 수질, 대기 폐기물 관리 방안, 지역사회 환경 영향과 물질 안전관리 측면에서 본사의 사례를 중심으로 당사의 관리 현황을 공유드리겠습니다.
I understand that residents have questions on the company's safety and environment capabilities. To address your concerns, I will be discussing the following 4 topics. First, plans for construction safety. Second, water, air, and waste management. Third, impact on residential environment. And fourth, material safety management, centered on SK Hynix headquarter practices.
건설 단계에서 소음, 비산먼지, 교통체 등에 대하여 우려하신다고 들었습니다. 공사 중 통행하는 차량들은 기본적으로 출입 단계에서 세륜 시설을 통해서 비산먼지 발생을 제어할 예정입니다.
First, on concerns surrounding noise, fugitive dust, and traffic during construction. We plan on installing tire wash systems on all cars entering during construction.
공사장 내에서 발생하는 먼지는 세륜시설, 방역시설 등의 설비가 설치되어 운영되며 관리될 예정입니다.
And second, we will control dust with sprinkler trucks and pressure washers.
이게 아니고 숨소리야. 또한 공사 중 발생하는 소음은 방음 펜스를 설치하여 생활에 문제가 없게 관리해 나갈 예정입니다.
Third, temporary fences will act as sound barriers and keep noise to normal levels.
기타 공사로 인한 교통체증에 대한 우려사항은 신호수 배치나 차량 동선 최적화를 통해 대응해 나갈 예정입니다.
And fourth, traffic controllers and optimization of driving routes will help address traffic concerns.
환경관리 측면 중 수질 및 수자원 분야에 대해서 설명드리겠습니다. 이천 본사의 방류 수질은 한국 기준 대비 굉장히 낮은 수준인 좋은 물 수준으로 처리하여 방류하고 있습니다. 특히 한국의 특정 수질 유해 물질 등 환경과 사람에 유해하다고 알려진 중금속동의 물질들은 불검출 수준으로 완벽히 관리되고 있습니다. 대부분의 항목이 먹는 물 관리 수준을 만족하고 있습니다.
Next, moving on to water resources and quality. Icheon headquarters has strict regulations for wastewater quality, and discharged water fits most criteria for drinking water, with specific harmful substances, such as heavy metals, in discharged water being non-detected.
특히 당사가 방류하는 하천의 구간별 수질을 분석해보면 당사 방류수로 인해 기존 하천이 정화되고 수질이 좋아짐을 확인할 수 있습니다.
Taking a closer look at the water quality by area, we can see that discharged water helps purify and improve the water in existing rivers.
이천의 방류수는 화학지표 외에도 하천 생태에 영향을 미치는지 확인하기 위해 물벼룩, 조류 등의 생물 감시 설비를 운영하고 있으며 하천 주요 포인트에서 생물 건강성 확인을 위해 주요 생물종을 관찰하고 있습니다.
We also monitor the surrounding ecosystem and its biodiversity, such as the aquatic health of water fleas and algae.
당사의 방류수 수질이 좋기 때문에 하천의 수질을 오히려 깨끗하게 해주고 있고 이 영향으로 수달 등의 보호 생물들이 당사 방류 하천에서 발견되고 있고 물 분야 주요 인증인 CDP 워터에서도 최우수 등급을 지속 유지하고 있습니다.
The discharged water is of such high quality that it has received the highest level A grade by CDP water, with 50% of the discharged water being reused. Nationally protected endangered species, such as otters, can be found in the water as well.
당사 방류 하천에서 발견되고 있는 천연보호생물 수달을 촬영한 자료입니다. 맑은 물에서 서식한다고 알려진 수달이 살 정도로 먹이가 풍부한 생태 다양성이 확보된 하천입니다.
Yonhap News, a named Korean news agency, reported footage of otters, a species that only lives in clean water with sufficient and biodiverse food, thriving near the ancient plant.
대기 관리는 총 3단계로 다중 처리를 진행하며 생산 장비에서 사용된 가스는 1차적으로 온실가스를 분해하는 설비에서 처리됩니다.
SK Hynix uses a three-step air pollution management system. First, we use greenhouse gas reduction tools.
온실가스를 분해하며 발생한 대기오염 물질은 2, 3차 스크러버를 통해 완벽하게 정화됩니다.
Next, two sets of scrubbers are used to completely purify the air of any pollutants.
생산 장비도 밀폐 구조이고 모든 화학 물질이 건물 내에서 작은 양으로 사용되는 구조이며 건물 자체가 방어 시스템입니다. 비상시에도 생산 장비 자체가 비상정지하게 되고 배기가스도 완벽히 정화되어 배출되게 됩니다.
The sealed fab acts as a protective system, and all materials are used up in small doses in the fab. In case of emergency, production equipment is halted and gas emissions are fully purified.
이질은 엄격한 한국 기준 대비 3% 이내로 안정적으로 처리하고 있으며 특히 먼지, HF, HCl, 삭스 등의 주요 오염물질은 불검출 수준으로 관리됩니다.
We adhere to the strict Korean standard of 3% for emissions, and dust, hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen chloride, and sulfur oxide are controlled to non-detectable levels.
폐기물은 재활용을 극대화하고 매립 및 소각을 최소화하는 정책으로 실행하고 있습니다. ZWTL은 매립을 최소화하고 재활용을 극대화하는 인증체계입니다.
We have a maximize recycling, minimize incineration, and landfill approach to waste.
ZW 수준이 플래티넘 등급으로 최고 수준을 달성하고 있습니다.
SK Hynix holds Platinum Zero Waste to Landfill, or ZWTL grade.
폐기물 중 케미컬이 함유된 액상 폐기물은 탱크로리를 통해 외부로 반출하며 재활용하는데 HBN 공정은 발생량이 작기 때문에 하루 한 대 분량도 반출되지 않을 것으로 보이며 여러 안전설비들이 설치된 상황에서 배차 운영될 예정입니다.
Chemical waste is carried outside in tank trucks, but if low levels of waste for HBM production, we expect one truck to be dispatched every 2 days with all appropriate safety mechanisms in place.
고상의 폐기물은 일반적으로 성상별로 분리되어 안전하게 외부 반출 재활용됩니다.
General waste is sorted, recycled, and safely transported outside.
지역사회의 환경 영향은 앞서 설명드렸듯이 엄격하고 안전하게 관리하고 있기 때문에 오히려 사업장 외곽보다 회사 주변의 환경이 더 좋게 분석됩니다.
As mentioned before, thanks to strict safety guidelines, the residential complex near Icheon headquarters is analyzed to have a better, safe, and responsible environment than its surroundings.
이천 본사 0.6마일 이내에만 해도 주민이 7,300여 세대가 거주하고 있고 특히 기숙사에는 당사 직원 6,200세대가 거주하고 있습니다.
Around 7,300 households, or approximately 30,000 individuals, live within 0.6 miles of headquarters, with around 6,200 employees living in the dormitories.
이천 캠퍼스는 83년도부터 40년 동안 운영 중이며 주변의 아파트, 학교 등의 주민들의 생활 반경과도 환경 보건적 문제 없이 안정적으로 운영 중이니 걱정하지 않으셔도 될 것 같습니다.
Rest assured that the residents of Icheon have been enjoying a healthy and stable everyday life with nearby schools and apartments for over 40 years since the establishment of the fab in 1983.
물질 안전관리 측면에 대해서 설명드리겠습니다. 화학물질은 입고, 사용, 폐기 전 단계에서 관리됩니다. 국제협약이나 사람과 환경에 유해한 물질은 입고 시에 사전 차단하고 있습니다.
Finally, on material safety management, we manage materials from entry to use to disposal. We prevent banned or harmful substances from entering the fab.
사용 시에는 4단계의 안전설비를 설치하여 다중 안전망을 구축 관리하고 있습니다. 화학물질이 유출되더라도 외부로 유출될 가능성은 없고 실제 40년간 운영하면서도 폐 외부로 확산된 사고는 발생하지 않았습니다.
We also have a multi-layer safety mechanism. Even if chemicals were to be leaked, there is zero possibility of external exposure. In the past 40 years of fab operations, there were no accidents causing harm to nearby residents.
그 원인이 인적 과실이든 장비 오작동이나 오작동이든 업계와 공장 작업장을 막론하고 사고는 일어날 수도 있습니다. 당사의 경우 인적 피해로 이어진 작은 규모의 단일 사건들이 발생한 경우는 있습니다만 모든 사고들이 팬 내에서 발생 및 해결되었고 주민에게 피해를 준 적은 없습니다. 당사는 작업자와 주민 안전을 최우선 가치로 추구해 왔습니다.
Accidents due to human error or equipment malfunction can occur in any factory or workplace, regardless of the industry. In our case, there have been small-scale isolated incidents that resulted in personal injury. However, all accidents were contained within the facility, and no harm was caused to nearby residents. The safety of workers and citizens are our highest priority.
본 사진은 당사의 맑은 방류수, 현장에서 로봇으로 안전관리를 하는 사진, 지역사회 봉사활동 및 청주사업장 인근의 메모드급 주거단지와 상생 발전하는 사진입니다.
The photo here shows clean discharge water, safety management with robots, local community volunteering, and residential area in Cheongju.
SK 하이닉스 SH 분야는 사람과 환경 중심의 가치를 최우선으로 추구합니다. 모든 투자 및 운영은 이웃의 행복에 근간을 두고 있습니다. 깨끗한 환경 관리, 스마트한 안전 관리, 지역사회 공헌과 상생을 통해 웨스트 라파에트 주민들과도 좋은 기억을 남기는 동반자가 되기를 희망합니다.
The SK Hynix Safety, Health, and Environment team prioritizes people and environment-centric values. All investment and operations are done with the happiness of our neighbors in mind. The sustainable environment management, smart safety tech, community contribution, and coexistence. We hope to become partners of West Lafayette and build upon positive memories.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
So obviously we are lack of microphone. We want to be more engaging and interactive, and we'll prepare next time with 10, 20 microphones. Okay, to wrap up, we have shared our ambitious plan, how to have a good impact on many fronts, but we wanted to be your partner, we wanted to be your neighborhood, and we wanted to make decisions and together and pave our joint path. So for that reason, we are hoping to establish a local advisory board, bringing together a diverse group of voices, could be students, experts, researchers, faculty members, and more. We want to have a best set of representation of the people who can be our voice and whose voices can be heard and who can carry our voices to them, to the community as well. So with inputs from this board, we hope to develop tailored programs that the real community, what the real community needs are coming from, whether that is in healthcare, talent development, cultural exchange, education, and sponsorship, whatsoever. While the timeline is still being shaped, we intend to begin drafting a first blueprint with our friends and partners at the Purdue Research Foundation, as if the time allows, before seeking your broader support. So that is kind of an exemplary programs that we used to carry in Korea. We have on the right side, youth career mentorship program. We have back on. Educational support for nurturing ICT talent. That's a professional training program. We have volunteer activities for environmental cleanup and operation of community handball team. So we have many more, but this is only a select programs that we were able to feature here. So we need your support, and we are together with you. So rest assured that we'll be your partner that makes a win-win outcome. Finally, we would like to emphasize that decision to choose West Lafayette in the state of Indiana for our advanced packaging facilities was result of it went through a result of years of careful consideration, consultation with the city, state, and the federal government and stakeholders. As you may know, our business is basically cyclical and requires continuous capital investment, making every strategic decision critical and at times irreversible. This especially is true for global expansion, which often means building the ecosystem entirely from the ground up. So I'm saying that our decision to be here has been a tough decision through a variety of stakeholder internal discussions. So it is to us very, very important. It has a lot of stake to us. We'll keep our ears open, listen carefully to your concerns and your suggestions, and do our best to address them if there is any. Remain committed to becoming a staunch supporter in our joint path toward a more vibrant, healthy, and prosperous Indiana. Thank you. So without further ado, we will now go into next phase, which is question and answer session. So we will have probably volunteers of people here in this room wanted to pose questions. Feel free to do so. We'll pass out our microphone, or one of my colleagues will do so, and then I will have one of our experts provide answer properly. So as for the interest of time, and as we have concerts upcoming by Bob Dylan at 8 p.m., so I try to limit the time for 30 minutes. Yes.
Hi, my name is Riddhi Roy. I'm a community member. I live in University Farms, Cattle Corner to site B, I think, the corner site that was showed to us. My question is, why that particular site is good for SK Hynix? When you thought of that site, did you evaluate about the residential population, about the school-going children, how the dynamics of that place is going to change because of a factory? Why do you need to rezone a place and make a residential area into an industrial area? Unlike Korea, where you showed us picture, the population density to land is very different from what it is in US. We say something over here in Lafayette, we have out-of-towners. We say if you drive 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you hit the cornfields. So you know you have to come back. So why in a place of plenty land do you want to come and settle right in the build a factory, right in the middle of a residential area, which has been marked as a residential area, which needs to be rezoned to an industrial area? Why not choose an area outside of that residential zoned areas? And my question follow-up is, you said you have happiness part. Don't start out the project by making the community members unhappy. We want to be your neighbors, but not very close neighbors. A distant neighborhood is good.
Okay, thank you for your very important question. I will direct to.
네, 질문 드려보도록 하겠습니다. 지역사회 구성원님의 질문이고, 노트 B를 선택한 구조적인 이유가 무엇인지가 궁금합니다. 참고를 하자면 노트 B가 있는 지역은 현재 거주지고 산업지역으로 바꾸고자 하는 의미가 무엇인지, 다이내믹이 바뀌게 된다면 어떤 의미를 가지게 됐는지를 고려하는지를 한번 확인하고 싶습니다. 이천과는 다르게 인디아나는 인구 밀집도가 낮은 상황이고 15분에서 20분 정도 운전을 하게 되면은 다른 지역이 있는 것으로 알고 땅이 많은 지역으로 알고 있는데 해당 거주 지역을 선택한 이유가 무엇인지가 궁금합니다. 마지막으로 말씀드리고 싶은 이유는 앞서 행복공원에 대해서 말씀해 주셨는데 저희는 여러분과 함께하는 어느 정도 거리를 둔 이웃사촌으로서의 모습을 지키고 싶습니다. 그렇기 때문에 첫 발부터 행복하지 않은 모습보다는 같이 행복해서 성장하는 그런 모습을 꿈꾸고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
Please translate. 저희가 리조닝을 추진하는 이유는 사실 오늘 아침에 뉴스에서 보셨을 거라고 생각합니다.
So I believe that you have seen on the news the reason for us choosing to rezone.
제가 프로젝트를 소개해드렸다시피 저희는 펄드 유니버시티 PRF 특히 펄드 유니버시티의 R&D 협력이라는 굉장히 중요한 과제를 가까이서 수행을 해야 되는 과제에 합의가 되어 있습니다.
And one of the main goals for our project is for us to have R&D or research and development collaboration with the nearby Purdue University.
지금 아까 제가 지도에서 보여줬던 바와 같이 사이트 A와 B가 있습니다. 사이트 A는 이미 저희가 팹을 어드밴스 패키징 팹을 짓도록 리존이 되어 있다, 조닝이 되어 있었습니다.
And if you recall on the previous slides, we have site A and B, and site A was the site that was initially selected for rezoning.
그래서 사이트 B는 저희 어드밴스 패키징 팹은 저희의 서플라이 체인과 가까이 있어야 하고 그래서 저희는 아까 제가 말씀드렸다시피 사이트 A와 B는 저희의 모든 어드밴스 패키징 팹에 반도체의 이코시스템을 형성을 해야 되는 상황입니다. 그 이유는 반도체 공정 운영상 매우 24시간 가동되는 매우 중요한 공장으로서 가까이 서플라이 체인과 가까이서 매우 안정적이고 효과적으로 서플라이 체인을 유지해야 되기 때문입니다.
And site B is a site that is close to the supply chain for the advanced packaging fab. Both site A and site B are closely located to the semiconductor ecosystem, and this is important considering the 24-hour fab operations.
그 사이트 B는 사이트 A보다 좀 더 크고 전방의 구조로서 저희의 팹을 효율적으로 대처하는데 최적의 모양입니다.
And that is why, as previously mentioned, site B is bigger than site A, and we consider it to be more optimal for our fab operation purposes.
그 사이트 B는 남쪽의 커머셜 에어리어와 동쪽에 플러드 플레인을 지역으로 해서 충분한 지역 주민과의 버퍼의 거리를 형성할 수 있다고 보았습니다.
And we believe that considering to the south of site B we have the commercial area, and to the east we have the residential area, there is enough of a buffer zone for the site.
특히 사이트 B의 남쪽에 조성되게 되어 있는 커머셜을 통해서 병원이나 차일드 케어나 여러 가지 주민의 공동생활을 같이 공동으로 발전시켜 나갈 수 있는 아주 근접한 위치라고 보고 있습니다.
And we believe the commercial area to be located south to site B will be home to hospitals or childcare facilities and help with the coexistence of the community.
이상 말씀드린 바와 같이 저희와 사이트 A와 B는 모두 이코시스템을 형성해서 필요한 부지이고 저희가 혹시 주민들께서 아까 제가 말씀드렸다시피 주민들께서 원하신다면 저희는 원래 저희가 계획되어 있던 사이트로 돌아갈 수도 있습니다.
And in summary, both site A and site B are in important locations to the semiconductor ecosystem. But as mentioned before, we will adhere to the voices of the community. And if the decision is reached, we are also willing to revert back to our original decision of choosing site A. Thank you.
My name is Charlie Shook. I'm a resident of West Lafayette, West Lafayette High School. Been here for 69 years, believe it or not, and I'm a local realtor. And what I've been wrestling with in my mind is as this project has percolated over the year and then in the last month, is how will a project like this affect the value of a residence as an investment, not just as a home. And if you don't mind, I just kind of jotted some notes for myself. So what I thought through is what are the ingredients that cause our residence not just be a beautiful home, but a place, but an item that is valuable in our personal financial statement. And here are kind of the thoughts I came up with. One, the neighborhood and the property around it needs to be safe and healthy. I think we can look at the crime statistics in West Lafayette and feel comfortable that we are in a safe neighborhood. Second, it's healthy. And I came into this room ready to listen to what the health implications will be of this fab, whether on site A or site B. I heard data that made me feel comfortable as I compare it to the type of metrics I loosely hear from manufacturers like SIA and the comparisons to other Fortune 500 companies in the Midwest. Second, the property needs to be in the midst of good governance. And I think we are blessed that we have 3 municipalities with outstanding government that works well with each other and is in concert with Purdue. Part of the job of good government is to have compliance, to have appropriate rules from a building standards point of view, a livability standards point of view.
I'm sorry, I cannot understand it. Are you talking about the Christians? What are you talking about?
I don't know that I heard that, but I'm speaking about West Lafayette in particular. But West Lafayette can't work as an island. West Lafayette has good government, and that is not enough if the other areas didn't have good government. West Lafayette is very good at code enforcement. And if you were to talk about local employers, local light manufacturers, and those who have rental properties, I think they'd be the first to say that West Lafayette is not light on enforcement. Third area is good education. I think we can just check that box. Fourth area is close proximity to employment, shopping, recreation, and education. I think West Lafayette can check that box. And the fifth, and probably the one that's maybe most critical in this environment, is that it is an area that vitally expands its base of employment. And that is the number of employers and the quality of employment. And I've heard it in the legacy of my family that as soon as a new employer comes to town, you almost have to begin looking for the next good employer. Because employers have seasons of strengths and weaknesses. And I think this, in my mind, is an opportunity we don't want to miss. And so we speak to the value of site B versus site A, and to be more specific, the site between Salisbury and Yeager. And in looking at the illustrations I had a chance to look at a couple of days ago, I think it is as attractive as a manufacturing site as our community could see. It is supported by a buffer, a zoning buffer to the south, and a wetland buffer to the east. So I've reached the conclusion from my perspective that this will enhance property value in the areas immediately around the plant and those in the West Lafayette School Corporation in general.
I have a question for the gentleman. Do you live in that area? Do you live in that area?
Where do you live?
I live 3 miles south of the area.
Exactly my question.
So you are not worried about us. You are worried about anybody.
So no further
Let's go
questions.
through the process. Let's let
No, you cannot read us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, but no thank you.
Yeah, we didn't ask for your opinion.
I don't see this one.
Yes, sir.
Pam, we only have so much time. Pam, I'm so sorry.
We welcome you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. There's only
I didn't mean to cut Lady off, but I have a question that may help her,
Don't live there for more
from her
than
perspective.
people who
So,
live there.
two quick questions. One, you did choose a site in a residential area. How are you planning to manage traffic, heavy truck traffic, particularly trucks that are gonna have chemical waste, as you said in your proposal? Two, I pulled up Google Maps and looked at a satellite picture of the Inshot site. Can you tell me what the giant white plume of smoke is in the middle of the site? Because if that's what's coming here, we need to know what's in it.
Thank you.
네, 두 가지 질문있습니다. 첫 번째 질문은 거주지 사이트를 정한다고 하셨을 때 교통 체증에 대한 계획이 무엇인지가 궁금합니다. 특히 케미컬을 운반하는 그런 트럭의 경우 교통 체증에 대한 계획이 무엇인지가 궁금하고요. 두 번째 질문은 구글맵을 통해서 이천을 보았을 때 이천 사이트에서 연기 혹은 매연 같이 보이는 그런 무언가가 보였는데 이 부분이 매연이 맞는지를 확인하고 싶고 그렇게 된다면 라파이어트로 웨스트 라파이어트가 어떠한 지점이 있는지가 궁금합니다.
예, 2000 상황에 대해서 제가 설명드리겠습니다. 좀 나눠서 설명드릴게요. 일단 폐기물 차량에 대한 어떤 통제 계획, 차량에 대해서 어떤 통제 계획에 대해서는 HBM 공정 자체가 폐기물 발생량이 많지 않습니다. 아까 케미컬 웨이스트 같은 경우는 머터리얼 웨이스트 같은 경우는 발생량이 적기 때문에 이틀에 한 대 정도 배차가 되기 때문에 주민 통행이 이루어지는 시간대에 굳이 배차를 안 해도 될 것으로 보여집니다. 이거 먼저 답변해 주시고 두 번째.
Thank you for the question, and allow me to answer the question in multiple parts. So to answer your first question, when it comes to traffic control for chemical trucks, we mentioned before that for the HBM process, this has less material waste compared to other processes, and as a result, we believe that the materials trucks or waste will be reported out once every 2 days, and will utilize a time that will not affect the traffic or the communications for the residents in the area.
두 번째는 수증기에 대해서 설명드리겠습니다. 이천 사이트에 아까 배경 질문하신 거죠? 일단은 그 연기는 여러분들 가정에서 에어컨을 돌리시면 그 실외기라는 게 있을 겁니다. 이런 대형 공장들은 봉랭 방식의 실외기를 두지 않고 순행식, 물을 이용해서 실외기를 돌리게 됩니다. 일단 여기.
And to answer your second question, what was mentioned earlier as smoke is actually water vapor coming from the factories. And it's similar to water vapor that comes out of the air conditioners in your homes. But for large-scale factories, we use a mechanism of water that cools down any heating vectors.
반도체 팹은 클린룸을 안에 생산 장비들이 들어가게 되는데요. 클린룸은 항상 일정한 온도 유지가 필요합니다. 근데 팹 안에 수많은 장비들이 가동을 하면 열이 발생을 하게 돼서 24시간 365일 그 온도를 유지하기 위해서 겨울철에도 에어컨 기능을 하는 냉각탑이 돌아가게 됩니다.
And in semiconductor production fabs, all of the equipment or fluids are kept in what is called clean rooms. And clean rooms need to be operated at a certain temperature. In order to control the heat dissipation that occurs in the clean room, we operate air conditioners or coolers 24 hours, 365, and this is also operated during the winter as well.
즉 그게 어떤 유해 물질을 함유된 가스의 연기가 아니라 물의 온도가 떨어지면서 거기서 발생되는 델타 T를 에어컨 형식으로 클린룸을 차갑게 만들어주는 과정에서 입김을 겨울철에 불면 입김이 보이듯이 냉각탑에 물이 순환하면서 온도 저감 과정에서 수증기가 배경으로 보이는 것입니다.
And again, we do want to emphasize that this water vapor is not hazardous, and rather this is used for cooling purposes for equipment in the clean room. And again, this is caused when the water circulates and it allows us to cool the equipment with heat.
Hi, I'm Kaushik Roy. I'm a resident of West Lafayette and also in the University of France, pretty close to where you guys are going to have planned site. First of all, I'd really like to welcome you. We were really, really excited that SK Hynix is moving to Indiana and West Lafayette, pretty close to Purdue University, and looking forward to lots of possible collaborations and all. So really looking forward, and I'm really delighted that you guys are going to be here. Now, the question, of course, is the fact that, as you can see, right from there, SK West Lafayette side view, there's plenty of land in this place. Huge amount of land available, free land available. So why this particular site? Actually, the first question that was asked, I really didn't get an answer to that. There's a huge amount of space available. In fact, if you go close to the airport where other places are, for example, where the industries are, there's a huge amount of space available. So we can all peacefully coexist. And that's going to be the right thing to do, to be actually, have all be coexisting in a good way, but just be away from where the residential areas are, and you don't need to rezone. That's a good thing to do. And in fact, I know that, I'm not worried about the fact that you're not going to be safe. But you also mentioned the fact that accidents do happen, and we know, right? For a few days ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a transformer that burnt pretty close to Heathrow Airport. It was not supposed to. It's very, very safe, by the way, but it did. So it's a good idea to just move away from the community a little bit, and so that we all peacefully coexist and do things. And in fact, close to here are wellness center, play fields, and everything. And we don't want to change that sort of the young kids who go and play there, the babies and old age home and all the sort of things are there. People go walking. We just don't want to change that area because we moved in there, a lot of us, with the fact that that's what the community is going to be like. So it's not that we want SK Hynix. I love to have SK Hynix here, and I'm glad that things are changing here. Looking forward to this excitement. But please move a little bit away. Okay?
네, 우선 시작하기에 앞서 이분 가족으로서 SK하이닉스를 환영한다는 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 그리고 앞으로의 협력을 기대한다는 점 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 현재 화면에 보이는 사이트를 보았을 때 공항 근처 그리고 주변에 토지가 많은 것으로 알고 있는데 해당 좋은 기류를 선택하게 된 이유가 무엇인지가 궁금합니다. 그래서 주변에 설명을 듣지 못한 부분이 좀 유감스럽고요. 이 부분에 대해서는 리존 필요 없이 다른 지역으로 가게 되면 어떨지에 대해서 한번 질문드리고 싶습니다. 두 번째로 지금 설명을 들었을 때 꽤 전반적인 동력의 안전이 오래가는 것은 아니지만 사고는 항상 발생한다는 걸 말씀드립니다. 최근에 히스로 공항에서도 화재가 발생한 것으로 알고 있는데 이런 부분들을 고려했을 때 이미 아동들이 놀고 있는 웰네스 센터 또는 플레이필드가 있는 지역이 아닌 다른 지역으로 우리 이동을 고민하셨는지가 궁금합니다.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Slater. I am Vice President of Capital Projects and Facilities for the Purdue Research Foundation. Answering on behalf of PRF, but Site A, there's a couple different zoning classifications in the Purdue Research Park that exist today. There's OR, which is office research. We also have NB, which is what we talked about, kind of the corridor along Calvert, which is neighborhood business. And then lastly, we've got I3. The existing I3 zoning that exists within Site A has been zoned industrial, so dating back to the early 70s. So that's a historical zoning classification that was around many years before a lot of the development, a lot of the homes, some of those things took place. And then secondarily with Site B was also a historical zoning classification that we as PRF had just yet to rezone into what you see in the research park now. So in the 90s, there was a new zoning ordinance that came out called the new zone, the new Unified Zoning Ordinance. And a part of that, they made changes by adding additional industrial classifications into I-1, I-2, and I-3. And so this, in the kind of mid-90s, was reverted into I-3 zoning classification, the new zoning code. So from our perspective, the original site, Site A, has indeed been, historically zoned industrial since the 70s, which was ultimately one of our reasons for pitching that site. I would also add just availability to infrastructure. We have a wonderful community that has public infrastructure available, so water, sanitary, storm, telecommunications, all of those things, electric, readily available within the city limits of West Lafayette. So, thank you.
사이트 A와 사이트 B의 조명에서 차이점에 대해서 간략하게 말씀드렸는데요. OR, Access Research, R&D, 이제 Neighborhood Business 보고 I1, I2, I3 이런 부분들을 고려했을 때 사이트 A와 사이트 B가 어느 정도 차이가 있다는 점 말씀드립니다. 그래서 90년대에 새로운 조립 메커니즘이 도입이 되었는데요. 사이트 A의 경우는 70년대부터 산업 부지로 활용이 되어 왔고 용수, 통신, 전기 등의 인프라 접근성이 좋다는 점을 봤을 때 적합하다고 생각했습니다.
Thank you. Just gonna have to be close.
My name is Deborah. I'm a West Lafayette resident. I was so excited to be able to retire here, grow an organic garden, and live in this incredible community that our elected officials have built, protected, and I hope they'll continue to do the same. My questions tonight are surrounding environmental impact reports. And my question for Hynix is, have you conducted an independent environmental impact report for both sites A and B? If so, by whom? Emphasizing independent, not by Hynix. If not, when will an environmental impact report be done and made available to the public? Regardless of the laws on file, which are rapidly changing, as we know, I think as a community we deserve an environmental impact report, whether the law requires it or not. And will it take into account our unique topography, aquifer and floodplain, 20 to 80 mile per hour winds, which do include tornadoes. Those of us who've gone to the basement know that. And also the interplay between the already existing farm chemicals that are in the soil, the particulate matter we breathe. We already carry a heavy toxic load in a farm community. How will those chemicals interplay with the chemically intensive industry that fab industry is, in spite of all the safety practices? It's introducing a lot of new chemicals to existing chemicals. Has that interplay been studied? I think that's critical for the well-being of the community, close and far. And then also the environmental impact report, I feel, should include heavy truck traffic, new roads introduced closely to schools, neighborhoods, elder care, and then any concerns of if in heavy winds trucks went over. We did have a truck 1 or 2 weeks ago, all of us know, that flipped over. I believe it took the life of that gentleman. Had that truck carried those chemicals on a day it was being taken out, what would be the plan? So, environmental impact report. Thank you. Thank you.
네, 환경영향 평가에 대한 질문 드리고 싶습니다. 저 같은 경우는 은퇴 후 근처 지역에서 정원을 바꾸는 꿈을 가지고 있는데요. 환경영향 평가를 진행하셨는지, 하이닉스에서 자체적으로 진행한 평가가 아닌 독립기관에서 사이트 A와 사이트 B에 대한 평가를 진행했는지가 궁금합니다. 만약 진행을 하지 않았다면 언제 진행을 하실 계획인지가 궁금하고, 법은 항상 바뀌기 때문에 법과는 무관하게 지역 사회로서 환경영향 평가에 대해서 한번 질문드리고 싶습니다. 그리고 최근 들어서 지역의 환경을 고려했을 때 소량 중에 토네이도 영향이 있고, 그리고 농업을 하고 있는 지역으로서 파암 케미컬에서 농업 화학물이 있는 경우에 새로운 헬베사이 케미컬이 도입이 된다면 어떤 영향이 있는지가 궁금합니다. 추가적으로 교통체증이 증가한다고 하셨는데, 교통체증이 증가할 우려가 있는데 이 부분에 대해서는 새로운 도로가 성립이 되고 교통사고가 발생했을 때, 예를 들어
일단 질문이 많아서 제가 첫 번째 질문인 환경영향평가에 대해서만 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 지금 아직 환경영향평가는 아직 사이트가 결정되지 않았기 때문에 작성하지 않은 상태이고 계약을 하지 않은 상태이고 실제 이건 외부 3자의 전문 업체를 통해서 환경영향평가를 할 계획으로 되어 있습니다. 사이트가 결정되면 즉시 착수해서 그 결과물 나올 때까지 약 6개월에서 7개월 정도 소요되고 예상됩니다.
Thank you for your question. Allow me to answer your question part by part. So on the first question regarding the environmental impact assessment, we are not able to conduct the EIA until the site has been selected. And after the site has been selected, we will have a process where an independent organization will conduct the EIA, and this will take a process of around 6 to 7 months.
예, 두 번째 질문 답변드리겠습니다. 토네이도 부분입니다. 현재 저희는 설계 기준인 미국 코드 ASCE에 따라서 그 설계를 적용하고 있고 그 기준에 따르면 웨스트 라파에서 일어났던 가장 강력한 피해를 줬던 토네이도 대비 약 2배 정도의 설계를 진행하고 있습니다.
And to answer your second question regarding impact from tornadoes, we plan to comply with the U.S. Code ASCE, and our fab, when constructed, will be able to withstand double the magnitude of tornado that hits, of the strongest tornado that hit West Lafayette in its history.
예, 세 번째 질문이 신규 화학물질 사용에 대해서 답변드리겠습니다. 일단 앞서 설명드렸듯이 저희는 국제협약이라든지 그 산업안전보건법이라든지 환경법에서 정하는 금지 물질 같은 것들을 사전 차단하는 자체 프로세스가 있습니다. 더불어서 그 처리 시스템을 거쳐서 나가는 물이 농업에 영향을 미칠지에 대해서도 궁금해하셨는데 그런 부분들도 저희가 수질 관리를 철저히 하고 있고 지금 아까 말씀드린 생물 감시 장치라든지 이런 걸 통해서 농사나 하천에 영향이 없도록 관리를 하고 있습니다.
And to answer your question regarding the introduction of new chemicals, we will follow the local and international regulations so that we are able to prevent the entry of banned or harmful chemicals in its entirety. And we also, when it comes to the impact on existing farm chemicals, we are going to be looking at the water that is cleaned as well as the biodiversity surrounding the local area.
So we have time for 4 more questions today. I understand that there are probably still more questions to ask. So many of you probably received a card when you came in. You can jot down as many questions as you have on that card. If you didn't, we have many more at the table in the front. Also, if you would like to meet one-on-one, please come talk with Chad Pittman, and we'd be happy to accommodate that.
My name is Andrew Patton, and I've lived in the University Farm community for 27 years. Thank you for your presentation, and I too would like to say that I hope SK Hynix can join the West Lafayette community and hopefully not in the location that you've got. Just a few comments about transparency and process that actually concern me. Throughout Dave Banger's recent interview with SK Hynix and the Purdue Research Foundation, SK Hynix regularly points out that communication with the local community has been lacking. Later, in that same interview, SK Hynix refers to this as a small regret. What's puzzling to me is that there has been no meaningful citizen involvement for such a significant zoning decision from R1 within a large residential area until the last month or so. A decision that will change our residential landscape regardless of what heavy industry uses this site for, should it be rezoned, which is the central issue. How much time passed between SK Hynix's initial conversations with PRF and the city of West Lafayette and today? I have to be honest and say when I hear SK Hynix acknowledge that communication with the local community has been lacking, and then you add that this is a small regret,
from my perspective, you have already broken trust with our community.
Yes.
And adding small regret breaks that trust further. Trust which is absolutely required of any person, business, or organization that seeks to be a part of our strong and united community.
네, 근처 지역에 27년 동안 거주한 루틴입니다. 그래서 투명성과 절차의 투명성에 대해 질문 드리고 싶은데요. 최근 진행한 지역 신문과 인터뷰에서 이제 로컬 커뮤니티와의 커뮤니케이션이 부족했다는 점을 두고 작은 후에 스몰 브레이크라는 표현을 사용하셨습니다. 이 부분에 대해서는 존닝 디시전 같은 중요한 결정에 지역사회에 참여가 없었다는 점이 상당히 유감으로 느껴지고 이러한 중요한 결정에 있어서 거주지의 지향을 갖게 되는데 하이닉스와 PRF 그리고 이제 시와의 초기 대화가 진행된 이후부터 지금까지 얼마만큼의 시간이 지났는지를 질문드리고 싶습니다. 신뢰가 다소 깨졌다는 점에 있어서 표현력이 좀 아쉽다는 부분 다시 한번 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
네. 말씀 겸손하게 받아들이겠습니다. 그동안에 저희가 미주령에 대해서는 지난 1월부터 소통을 해왔고요. 그동안 저희가 좀 더 먼저 일찍 지역사회와 소통을 했어야 되는 것에 대해서 그러지 먼저 적극적으로 나서지 못한 것은 충고스럽게 생각합니다.
Yes, thank you for the feedback and we humbly accept the criticism that has been provided. And in the sake of full transparency, we began our discussions with MPRF and the city in January of this year. And we fully acknowledge that it is regrettable that we're not able to have communication with the local community beforehand.
정정하겠습니다. 제주도는 2월부터 얘기를 시작했습니다.
So allow me to correct my previous statement. It was not January but February of this year.
앞으로 부족한 소통은 오늘을 시작으로 해서 저희가 지역사회 주민과 지속적으로 소통을 하겠습니다. 그리고 같이 저희와 함께 저희 파트너들과 함께 같이 소통을 하도록 하겠습니다.
Starting from today, SK Hynix fully commits to continued and strengthened communication with the local community. This not only extends to SK Hynix, but to our suppliers as well.
Yeah, my name is Tanto Subiaco. Been living in Lafayette for 20 years, and I live in Emily Village. My question is regarding the Site B. The land that you requested is about 121 acres, which is about 5 million square feet. And I try to look into the land facility in Icheon. I try to Google Earth it. There is a 5 building that I presume is your main building. Within the area of 5 million square feet, I guess I can drop the 5 building into this 5 million square feet. And in addition, you still have a site A that is about 60 acres, which is about 2.5 million square feet. With that amount of space available, technically you might be able to do a full-scale production, not only the advanced packaging but also the DRAM. So is there something that you have in mind for the future development?
네, 사이트 A와 사이트 B의 추후 활용에 대해서 질문을 드리고 싶습니다. 사이트 A의 경우는 60에이커, 250만 제곱피트인 것으로 알고 있고 사이트 B는 121에이커, 500만 제곱피트인 것으로 알고 있습니다. 2000 팹과 비교했을 때 그 영역이 상당한 것으로 보이고 있는데 그렇게 된다면 추후에 어드밴스 패키징 팹뿐만 아니라 DRAM 팹 또한 건설할 계획이 있는지 궁금합니다.
사이트 A와 B는 저희와 서플라이를 같이 하고 있기 때문에 현재 계획을 그대로 유지하는 것을 갖고 있습니다. DRAM에 대해서는 현재 저희가 계획하고 있지 않습니다.
And you mentioned the size of Site A and Site B. And this area is not only for SK Hynix, but also for the suppliers and our business partners in the overall semiconductor supply chain as well. SK Hynix is committed to our original plan of having the advanced packaging fab, and at the sake of full transparency, we're not considering the addition of a DRAM production fab in the area.
Hello. Chip fabs typically use PFAS, which are forever chemicals, and currently the usage and the release of PFAS is not well regulated by the state of Indiana. So my question is, what will be the utilization of PFAS at this facility, and how will its usage be regulated, and how will its release into the water system be regulated? Thank you.
PFAS 가스에 대한 질문이 있습니다. 인디아나의 경우에는 현재 PFAS 가스 규제가 엄격하지 않은 것으로 알고 있는데요. 이 부분에 대해서는 추후 규제 계획이 무엇인지 그리고 강요를 하게 된다면은 어떠한 절차를 따라서 PFAS 가스를 방류하게 될지가 궁금합니다.
예. HBM 공정, 그 반도체 공정 당사는 그 스톡홀름 조약에 의해서 PFAS 조약에서 금지하는 PFAS를 사용하고 있지 않습니다.
To answer your question, when it comes to the production of HBM chips, we are adhering to the Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants, and we're not using or creating PFAS when it comes to our production. So to clarify what has been said before, when it comes to the advanced, clarify what has been said before, when it comes to the advanced packaging process for HBM, we adhere to the Stockholm Convention on Persistent Organic Pollutants, and there is no PFAS being created during the advanced packaging process.
Hello, my name's Ryan. I've lived in Sabina County my entire life. I've lived in West Lafayette for the last 25 years. My children go to West Lafayette schools. They also go to the Wellness Center for after school and summer camp. I trust you guys with our safety. I do not have any doubt that you guys will be good corporate partners. Just like the other corporate partners that we currently have in Tippecanoe County. It's partnerships like these that have helped make our community a wonderful, wonderful place to live. So with that, I would like to say thank you for choosing West Lafayette, and welcome.
네, 마지막 발언 드리겠습니다. 지난 25년 동안 여기를 거주하면서 저희 자녀들도 웰네스 센터를 방문하고 그런 삶을 살아오고 있습니다. 이 부분에 대해서 하이닉스에서 발표한 안전에 대한 부분이 많이 신뢰된다는 점 말씀드리고요. 기업 협력과 파트너십이 지역에 굉장히 소중하다는 점을 말씀드리고 이 부분에 대해서 인디아나 그리고 웨스트라까지 선택해주신 부분에 대해서 감사의 말씀드리고 싶습니다.
Hi, Steve Shook, West Lafayette resident. I just want to say thank you to the leadership of the SK team and to the leaders at the Purdue Research Foundation and the City of West Lafayette for providing this forum for us to share our thoughts tonight. 6 months or so ago, my cousin Charlie, who spoke earlier, and our colleague So Young An, and I, through the permission of the foundation, were able to begin to help, along with many others, the initial SK residents get settled with homes. And I just want to say it's been an extreme pleasure to work with each and every one of you, and we hope to have the opportunity to work with more of your associates as they arrive. Thank you.
마지막으로 오늘 포럼을 준비해 주시는 하이닉스 그리고 프라이빗 리더십 분들에 감사의 말씀드릴 수 있습니다. 저 같은 경우에는 하이닉스 주재원분들이 인디아나로 오면서 많은 지원을 하게 되었는데요. 계속해서 본사에서 이런 강화하여서 이 부분에 대한 파트너십을 유지했으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
excuse me, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you for SK Hynix. I know many of you came from a long, long way away, and appreciate the effort. And to our SK Hynix friends who live in the community, thanks for a shorter trip tonight. Everybody in the room who made it, appreciate the effort. This is a great discussion. It's the beginning of a journey. I've been the president and CEO of PRF since February 1, and I've been with PRF for about 10 years. So if you have any questions, again, that have not been addressed, write them in the card, and drop them in the back.
What's going to happen to the cards?
We will go through the cards, and we will be.
How do we know if I write an answer on a card, is it not going to go in the trash? Why don't you? There's plenty of time. Why don't you let us ask more questions?
We'll do this again. We set a time out.
We don't have time. We have kids.
So.
When is the next meeting and what's the time? What's
Well,
the time and
well,
what's the location?
I'll tell you, I'm happy to meet anytime, one-on-one. And that's,
Off to say that.
We are
I wanna know
engineers, we know the probability
Up for sale.
of accidents.
so there'll be more time to talk. We'll discuss more.
Okay, yeah, why is that?
And I'll stay around here to talk afterwards. So thank you.
We welcome HKS, but not in the location.